can hardly believe it's Sunday again, but I think we've had a productive week. What do you think?
I think so.
So for me, the highlight this week was our secondhand haul. We found some really good stuff at the thrift store and consignment shop this week. And that allowed me to finally make some progress on my studio space, which has pretty much been at a standstill since last winter. And let's see, you've been taking advantage of the nice weather. You've been outside working on some yard projects.
Yeah.
And then there was a grocery store deal this week that led us to discover a new food obsession that Mr. Huff has.
It's a good one. It's easy.
Yeah. Let's see, what else this week? Oh, and we had to just take care of some normal everyday life stuff in France. So we decided to film that and take you along with us so you can see some of the things that maybe don't work here quite like they do in the US. But probably for the better. I think I probably like the way things are here better. And what else? So I've been doing a lot of cooking again in the kitchen. We finally got around to making my absolute favorite soup again for the first time since we've been here.
Yeah, I've eaten very well this week.
He's not suffering at all. And of course, it would not be a week if Mr. Huff had not made a lamp.
That's true. And this one was easy because I've
made a million of them at this point.
Made 2 more like it.
Yeah. But I think that the era of the lamp is coming to an end and that perhaps we are now moving into the era of the table. So we'll see if that's actually better for Mr. Huff or not.
Yeah, we've got an exciting project. We'll show you next weekend because we're still waiting on some parts for it.
So if we can get something delivered in the mail in France, which is always a cross your fingers situation, we should have that one next week. So, you ready to show them what we've been doing this week?
Let's get to it.
All right. We had some good secondhand finds this week that I'm excited to show you. So, this coffee table here was at the consignment store. And I love the wood top of it. So this is going to go in my studio. I'm still looking for a little small sofa for up there. But this is almost going to complete the room. And the consignment shop marks prices down the longer something has been sitting. So this had actually been marked down to 33 euros, originally 39. So happy about that. And then we found this trash can, also at the consignment shop for 9 euros, which will be going into one of the bathrooms. But maybe the best find of the week is this food processor. So I had to leave basically all of my kitchen appliances in the US because they had the wrong cord. And I have to say, I had some really nice stuff because I had slowly accumulated things over 20 some odd years. So kind of starting over. My kitchen tools are a bit rudimentary at the moment. And what we have found is that small kitchen appliances are very expensive in France. So this is a Kenwood food processor with all of the kinds of attachments that I used to have with my KitchenAid. And this one even has a blender. And this retails for an outrageous 400 euros. So I'm sure it's worth it, but I don't like to spend money. And so when we were in the thrift store this week, I spotted this and it was just 40 euros. So this is a big step towards getting my kitchen re-outfitted again. A month ago, I spotted these cassette tape cases at a thrift store, and I got really excited because this is something I've been looking for years. Now, I know cassette tapes are pretty much obsolete these days, but the cases actually happen to be the perfect size for storing rubber stamp pads, which I have quite a few of. So these were only 2 euros a piece, and I bought 3 of them, and they're actually really nicely made. They're wood, and they even have little metal brackets at the corners to reinforce them. So my plan is to spray paint these white and then hang them in my studio so that I can get some more of my craft supplies organized. with the way my rubber stamp storage turned out. So you can see how perfectly these old cassette tape boxes fit all the rubber stamp pads, and you can see what color they are without having to pull them out. So yeah, that was a good step on my studio, and I think I'm getting close to where I'm ready to show you guys the room. So we just got back from the grocery store, and I'm very excited because we got not only a €3 box of produce, and it looks really good. There were 3 boxes sitting there, and I thought this looked like the best one. And then another €2 bag of bread. And last time, if you saw, it was all baguettes, but this time it looks to me like it might be a mix of things, and I'm really excited because I have some recipe ideas. Okay, so let's open these up and see what we got. Let's get this one aside for a minute. And we'll start with the vegetables because I'm excited. So last time when we got one of these boxes, I ended up making a bunch of vegetable broth. In fact, I made like 21 pints to get ready for when my family's here for Christmas, because one of our daughters is vegetarian. And then with the bread last time, I stocked up on breadcrumbs, and then I didn't show it, but I also made all of our stuffing for the holidays. I went ahead and made it and freezed it. Okay, so, oh, I see a pineapple in there. Okay, let's see. Now last time when we got the box, everything seemed to be in really good condition. You know, it's a gamble every time. We'll see what we get. So, looks like we've got some broccoli and a cauliflower. And I say overall the cauliflower looks good. There's maybe a few spots here in the center that we'll deal with. So maybe we make some either broccoli or cauliflower soup this week. Okay, let's check out this pineapple. So, a French-sized pineapple. Things are not as big as they are in the US. But that's okay, that's a good Mr. Huff and I size. Okay, so those bananas look a little past their prime, so I'm not maybe as excited about those. Here's a good one. That one looks like it's fine, so we can make some banana bread perhaps. Alright, and we've got a bunch of tomatoes. They've gotten a little bruised with all the weight of the stuff in the box with them. But that's great still. And if you don't know this, you can stick tomatoes like this straight into the freezer. I usually just put them on a tray in case they burst, but I've never had a mess from one. And then once they're frozen, I usually just put them in a freezer bag, and you can just add them frozen straight to recipes. You really don't have to worry about thawing out for making soup because they will thaw pretty quickly on their own. Okay, what else? I have a couple zucchini. A little late in the season for zucchini, but maybe some zucchini bread or muffins. And okay guys, mystery fruit. Are they a type of plum maybe? I know some of the local plums are small. Anyway, if anyone knows, you can clue me in. That one's not looking so great. And let's see, a couple little potatoes and some carrots that maybe aren't the best. And then there's an apple Mr. Huff can have. And another apple. So I would say the box last week was definitely a lot better than this one.
Looks like you have nuts in there. Are those nuts?
Yeah, a couple.
Well, walnuts.
Walnuts. There we go.
Interesting.
4 random walnuts. All right, so anyhow. So yeah, I think some weeks are better than others. There's definitely stuff we can put to use there, but that last box was phenomenal. So
what are you most excited about? My favorite would be the pineapple, I believe.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably most excited about the broccoli and cauliflower because I can make some soup out of that. Because I was actually thinking about doing that anyway. So we'll see. It's an okay-ish box. I'm not super excited about that one. All right, so let's move on to the bread. Cut that together faster. Smells good. said was €2 for this bag of bread. Okay. So, you saw last time we had some baguettes, but that bag was entirely baguettes. I don't think that's the case this time. Oh look, we got like rounds of bread. Like we could do bread bowls for like soup. That might be fun. Big family bag of baguettes here. We'll try to divide these a bit. See what we've got. Bread bowls. So when I saw the bread at the store this week, the first thing I was thinking about was bread pudding, because I have been meaning to develop a bread pudding recipe for a while, so this might just be the week. Okay. There's so much bread this time. Another round of bread. Grain. And a couple of big loose loaves. Okay, so I think less bread than last time, but there's no complaining about that much bread for €2. That's pretty great. So I've already made, like I said, all my breadcrumbs, and I made all my stuffing for the holidays. So I think this time I'll concentrate on bread pudding, and I will probably also make some croutons just to have on hand for tossing into soups and on salads and that sort of thing. And we'll see what else I think of.
So there we have it. €5 for all this bread and vegetables and some fruit.
Here's the bread pudding recipe that I developed to use up some of the bread that we got this week. It makes a really excellent dessert or a quick breakfast or brunch recipe. So if you're starting to look for easy recipes to serve your family over the holidays, I definitely recommend this one, and I will include a link in the description below the video.
So the other day when I was baking, I came in here after the timer went off and opened the oven and was surprised to find it was cold. Now, this is, as you can see, a gas oven, but it is not hooked up to city lines like it might be in the US. It is actually a bottle stove. So in this cabinet next to it is a tank of butane, and that's what fuels the stove. So typically we get about 3 months out of one of these tanks, which cost €40. So actually it's a pretty economical way to fill your stove, because electricity is quite expensive in France. But since this has come up, I thought we would take you along and show you where we go to get our gas. Okay, so whenever we run out of butane for the stove, we have to run to the gas station to buy another tank. And you've got to be a little smart about it. We actually have a secondary backup tank because the gas station is closed on Sundays. So if you find yourself cooking and running out of gas, you could end up being in trouble. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we had to make a trip to the mayor's office this week, but it was not for a reason you would expect. It was so we could pick up more trash bags. In our town, the mayor's office provides all of the trash bags for your trash and your recycling. These gray bags are for your trash, and the yellow is for recycling. And in France, just about everything is recyclable, so there's very, very little that actually goes out in a gray bag. A lot of weeks we don't even have a full one to take out to the curb. So, I have to say, as someone who was always pained in the US to buy trash bags, especially as expensive as they have gotten, it is pretty awesome to get free bags. So I was really excited to get this new barn door painted this week, but unfortunately the weather had other ideas. It's been near 100% humidity all week, so the treatment that we put on the door as preventative against woodworm unfortunately has not dried yet. So it seems like it is finally starting to dry out a bit, and I'm hopeful we'll get to paint the door next week.
Hey guys, I'm out here in the orchard. Behind me is the bakery. I've been working on a cleanup project for the last couple days. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this hedgerow is just full of everything. It's got deadwood, it's got volunteer trees, it's got ivy, it's got blackberries, it's got stinging nettle, everything. My goal is to get some of this cleaned up so I can push them over through here, or maybe even ride them over through here, who knows. But I've been dealing with a lot of ivy on trees. I've already got it taken off up to about chest level here. I'll continue that project with a ladder here in a couple days. Here's a stump hole. Used to be a poplar between these two poplars. I've already picked that out of the ground, so that's major progress. Here's some of that bigger ivy I was talking about. It runs up trees, tree killers. I need to get that all off. I've already gotten it off a bunch of these trees. Here's one I'm gonna have a fun time with, but it shouldn't take too much work. I'll get this cleared up so I can get a mower through here, and it'll never be a problem again.
So that tool that you see Mr. Huff using is called an extractigator, and we brought it with us from the US. It's actually manufactured in Canada and available in 3 different sizes. We actually own all 3 sizes because it's such a valuable tool to us when we're trying to remove volunteer trees and invasives on the property. We originally bought it to remove volunteer trees around the pond at our old cabin in Tennessee, but it's been just as useful here.
Okay, so I think Mr. Huff has made some good progress this week, clearing out the invasives from the orchard berm, as well as handling some of the remaining tree work from that crazy 100-mile-an-hour storm that we had last November. So I wish that was how he was handling the trees, because we would be done a lot sooner. As it stands, we're still cleaning up the remains from about 30 trees that we lost. So he has had a few finds in the berm this week as he's been working. So he has managed to salvage some fence posts that I'm sure we'll find another use for. And then there was, where's the fork from that? The fork right here. And then he found an old garden fork as well. So I guess maybe that is the fun part of removing all the invasives, is that you really just don't know what you're going to uncover. And then Here's our mystery drainage pipe. It was not hooked up to anything, but there you go. So we're going to continue to work on this berm and see if we can get it cleaned out soon. And just to show you, as we're cleaning out these invasives, it's allowing us to enjoy the plants that are actually here. So this had been two rows of poplars. And now that we're taking these out, I think this tree here, which is a monkey puzzle tree, really interesting tree, is finally something that you're going to notice. Before, it was just sort of tucked between rows of poplars and you didn't even notice it. So, crazy, crazy tree. Of course, it wouldn't be a week if Mr. Huff hadn't made a lamp. So this week, I had him turn this earthenware bottle into a lamp. This is similar to what we did for the ones in our bedroom, but I really, really liked this kind of mustardy brown color on this bottle. And it has some neat little stamps and things on the side of it. So this one will be going in the room that our daughters use when they're here. And believe it or not, I think we are getting close to the end of our lamp project. Okay, so today I'm making bell pepper soup for lunch. This is one of our favorite soups, and it comes together really, really easily. So what I have done here is I just have some bell peppers, onions, and a little bit of thyme that I have sauteed in a bit of butter. And once you've got that done, then all you need to do is add some potatoes, and some broth, okay, and then I'm just going to put the lid on and let that cook on medium heat for about 20 minutes. So including the saute time and any time you spend chopping, this is an easy 30-minute meal, and mostly hands-off time, so you can kind of get the pot going and then go work on something else. So we'll come back in 20 minutes and I'll show you how I finish this one up. Okay, so the soup has been cooking for 20 minutes and I just checked, and the potatoes are soft, so you want them to be like fork tender. So now this is such an easy recipe. The only thing left to do is to puree the soup. And hopefully I can do that without making a huge mess this time. We'll see. Okay, so you can do this in a blender. If you don't have an immersion blender, you could just put it in a traditional blender. Just do it in batches. Just be careful because obviously it's going to be hot. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So this, as you saw, is a really, really easy recipe. If you're interested in trying it, I will include a link in the description for the video with all of the different measurements for the ingredients.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.